We're all set to go now. So I don't have a Bridgeport or a vise or anything, or even a good drill press. So I wanted to drill a hole straight through this, and I wanted all of them to be in the same place. So I made a little jig up. Alright, so now you can kind of see what I'm doing. So you can see the pin here, right? So just take something flat. So use this so you can see. Throw it against the edge of these two blocks here. So you butt the pin up against the straight edge here. And then that'll locate it left to right. And then front to back, it's already located because these are glued down and then this is clamped to the table. So that shouldn't have moved. And we clamp everything back down. Definitely could have been thought out a little bit better. But I'm only doing 4, so probably not worth spending the time making something nice. I grabbed these nuts at Home Depot, so they're just whatever they had there. They are a grade 8 fastener, even though these don't have to be that strong. So I've ground off the coating, and what I'm going to do is just kind of throw a couple of good sized tacks on either side just to hold this in place. So what this is going to do is pretty much nothing for the entire time this is in, except when I want to pull the pin out, I'm going to drive two bolts into this position and this position. That way it'll push off the adapter plate and then pop this out. That way I don't have to go get a punch and a hammer and awkwardly pound these things out of the adapter. I can just, grab my impact gun and just blast 2 bolts in, and then this will come right out, no problem. There's a few different reasons why I decided to make this style pin. Normally you'd weld a sput on the side of this bracket, and then drill a hole through the spud and your pin, and then put a bolt in there, and that would hold your pin in place. If I did that, it'd be really difficult for me to get to the back side of this and pound this pin out. You'll see my handle is in the way for the quick attach. So what I decided to do was weld some nuts on the back side of this plate. And I explained that a little bit in the video. That would pull that pin out. Second reason why was access to the original Zerk fittings was impossible with the bucket all the way down. And then the third reason was this Zerk fitting on the top kept snapping off. So I could eliminate all three of those issues with this style pin. So that's the original grease fitting for this lower pin here. So you have to raise the loader arms up and then drop the bucket down in order to gain access to this. But even then, you still don't have a whole ton of room there. I had to buy a 90-degree end for my grease gun in order to fit that. The original grease fittings on the ram, they stick off the top of this spud here. So when I roll the bucket down and I'm pushing something or moving a log or whatever, I've a couple different times had something pop up over the top of my bucket and snap the little fitting tip off. It didn't pop the threads out or anything, which is good, but even still it's annoying and you can't grease it. Then you got to make sure you got spares around. It's just a bad idea in general. You can see here, this one's actually snapped off. I haven't replaced it yet. These bucket ears also are different. The original ones for the bucket were a little bit more shallow. So this stuck up above the plates. So a couple different times I was pushing something and it kind of came over the top of the bucket and hit that and knocked it off. I didn't want to have to deal with that anymore, as well as having to start the tractor and raise it up just to grease these two fittings. So I can just walk up to the tractor at any time and grease the loader pins.